In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 things that you can add into your overall program to help increase athletic power, athletic performance, as well as really speed up your recovery from your workouts. And the reason why I'm making this video, the reason why I'm sharing these things with you is because I just got back from a training camp where I was working out 7 hours a day for 5 days. Now keep in mind I usually work out about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day tops. But times that times 3, and I was doing it every day for 5 days a week and waking up at 6 a.m., which is something I never do, never really want to do. So the reason why I'm doing this, sharing this with you, is because I was able to go through that, really have minimal soreness, minimal fatigue, and minimal breakdown, but always have energy to keep going and going and going, and have second win, third win, fourth win, fifth win, etc. So 3 things. Number 1 would be adaptogens. And adaptogens would be, things like reishi, cordyceps, holy basil, hoshawu, mucuna, polyricus ant, maca, rhodiola, etc. There's a pretty nice list of these herbs. So how do they work and what do they do? Basically, they're called adaptogens. So they help our body adapt to stress so that, obviously working out and doing very active things physically is very stressful. So anything that's going to help us adapt to that is of course going to help out with our performance and help out with our recovery. Adaptogens also modulate and balance all of the various systems in our body, and what makes them superior for workouts is that unlike a lot of things that people take for energy, there's no stimulation and there's no crash from it. Meaning you could take, let's say, reishi, or you could take gynosema or holy basil or cordyceps, and you get a little bit of energy from it, but it's not stimulating your body, but it's not taxing your adrenals. It's actually protecting them. It's actually protecting your body and helping you deal with the stress much more efficiently and effectively, which is why they've always been used by, Russian cosmonauts, Russian athletes, and athletes for a long time in history have been consuming adaptogens to enhance their performance and recovery. So that's the first thing. Second would be MSM. And MSM is great because it helps keep down inflammation and helps us to regenerate and rebuild tissue much faster, which people notice after they take MSM for a short period of time. Their hair grows a lot faster, their skin looks better, their nails grow faster, and they start to feel less sore, they feel more flexible and loose, which is indicating that the body is able to, heal up and regenerate a lot faster, which is going to translate to more healing and better recovery, less soreness, greater flexibility in your workouts. Third thing would be branched chain amino acids. Now these are basically amino acids which are leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And these are really important because as far as amino acids, these are metabolized in the muscle. So by taking these amino acids, it really helps to just give more fuel and energy directly to the muscles. And people think a lot of, oh, you got to eat massive amounts of protein if you're working out. Well, sure, you do need protein, you do need the full spectrum of what a diet can offer, but a lot more direct route is to just take branched chain amino acids, because those are really hitting the mark a lot more appropriately than, say, just eating something that, quote, has protein in it. Which protein is just a generic term, because what is protein? It's made up of different amino acids. So by doing this, it really is a more direct route and really helps with recovery and keeping us more anabolic. Now, if you've been into bodybuilding or anything like that, I'm sure you've heard of them before. But if you're someone who's not been into it, they're probably new to you. And it's something that's really helped me a lot. And really, I've definitely noticed recovery and noticed it's been easier to put on muscle, it's been easier to stay anabolic, and it's been easier to have better, longer, and stronger workouts. And there's a lot of good research and information out there on branched chain amino acids if you want to look them up and read more. And they're very inexpensive and easy to take, and something you just take. I usually do 2 or 3 times a day, or just follow what the bottle says, and that's been very helpful and delivered results for me. So again, just to recap, as adaptogens, MSM, and branched chain amino acids. I believe if you just did those 3 things, and obviously drank water, which is totally common sense, and took care of your body and used intelligent mechanics when you work out, you're going to have a lot better performance. You're going to feel better, you're going to feel less stressed, you're going to feel more calm and present while you're working out, and then you're going to feel much better recovery. You're going to bounce back a lot faster from your workouts. And this is something that I've noticed for myself over the last months, and definitely noticed case in point over the last week when I was working out, 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, and waking up at 6 a.m., which in my mind is very stressful. I was thinking it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna be really sore. I'm not gonna be able to walk when I get back, but I was actually quite fine. And then, of course, on the last day, which is the last thing I'll bring up I illustrate the stress thing. So I get to the airport early, of course, and my flight was delayed, which made me miss my connection flight, which meant that I was basically stuck at the airport because they didn't have any other flights. That airline didn't have any other flights um, for the rest of the day, and even the next morning they were booked. So my only options were to get on a bus, drive 3 hours to another airport, or sit there all night. So what did I do? I got on Priceline.com, looked it up, found one flight that was leaving in like 4 hours. I was there at like 2. This flight was leaving at like 6:45. And you think all this would be really stressful and really hard. And basically what I did is I had these 3 things in my arsenal. I was able to get through that event and not feel that stressed out, not really feel too bad about it, and just kind of go with the flow and feel okay. Keep in mind I hadn't eaten since 8:30 that afternoon, so I went from, or that morning, so I went from 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. when I got home, and I hadn't eaten. And I had a few snacks because I was smart enough to bring some snacks in my bag, but I had no real food because I'm not really interested in airport food. So, case in point, was working out 5 days a week for 7 hours a day. Then I go to the airport and go through that stressful situation, and it was fine, and it wasn't really that big of a deal. It kind of sucked, and it wasn't the way I wanted, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't get all flipped out and stressed out about it. And I think and feel that these 3 things that I mentioned in the video were quite important and really helpful for helping me to get through this. So again, adaptogens, MSM, branched chain amino acids, really simple formulation to increase your athletic performance as well as your recovery. So if you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.